Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly intuitive card reading for October 30th through the 5th. So this is bleeding into November, and oh gosh, everything is not the neatest here. Sorry about that, guys. The monthly reading will be out this week as well, probably Tuesday. So look out for that. I will set a premiere. And if you guys have noticed already, I actually moved things around as far as the deck spread goes. I put the challenge and change together. I moved the surprise towards the end of the second row after money and finances and career. And before our connections in general, our relationships. I just felt intuitively it was better that way. I don't really have too much to say, but I like the important and the overall outcome together. It just made more sense as well, so that's why I did the challenge and the change. So that's what it is, guys. But same cards, same type of reading. I also switched up the order of the decks, which I usually always do, and I think that's it, guys. You know what to do. Like, subscribe. Please, I love interacting with you guys in the comments. Let me know if it resonated with you, or let me know if it doesn't. Any feedback, anything you want to say, just be kind. By the way, I don't know if I turned on the ring light for this reading. I think the lighting looks pretty good. I would love feedback on that. That's great, guys. As I'm starting to get better, I'm starting to make my stuff a lot more quality, and obviously we're getting to the quantity point too. So as I get better, more videos, more specific readings, and I'm finally gonna go on camera and actually teach you guys a few things that I've been saying for years and finally put it into an actual video. So anyway, I know you guys aren't here to talk about my rants, so let's just jump right into the reading, and I guess I'll just say more to come. So, all right, guys, let's see what this week has in store for us. Let's go. All right, so we have need, and we have angel, and it comes in upside down, a shadow acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Okay, so this is the fact that it's actually upside down. Angel, sometimes I interpret this differently, but you guys know I read intuitively, and what's coming through right now is like this feeling of trying to be innocent all the time. It's not really working. That's really what Spirit is saying. So there's this, yes, could this lead to accountability? Sort of, yes. So this is asking us, Spirit is asking us to maybe take more accountability, but it's also like, seeing ourselves as human. We also make mistakes. And so maybe we're putting ourselves on high pedestals with other people, something along those lines. So basically, Spirit is basically saying, yeah, you're no angel. And nobody is, right? Nobody is. So we kind of need to look at that. So right off the bat, it's a little bit of shadow work kind of coming through here. So we'll see what the rest of the week has in store. So anytime I kind of get like that feeling of like, Spirit kind of like turning things on us, I'm just like, okay, so this is probably going to be, more of a reflective, introspective week of like, figuring out where we're actually the problem kind of deal. So maybe, but maybe not, but let's keep going. Action needed. Let's see. Unfinished symphony. Okay, so something is unfinished. And again, I'm pulling these next to each other. I have been always, because I feel like they're really connected, because this one is actually about taking more action. So this is about something that's unfinished that you haven't finished up. This could be something as simple as maybe you started an art project and, it would be a good week to finish it, okay? But since it's next to that no angel card, it definitely does feel like it might have something to do with that. So maybe finishing up a conversation with somebody, coming from a different perspective about it, taking a little bit more accountability on your end. Something along those lines that they too could be connected. Again, this is the reading for the collective, so I don't expect everybody to be going through the same thing, but more often than not, we're connected, so we are. But some of you guys it's going to be a little bit more simplistic, where again, maybe it's just something that you need to kind of like finish up. So it's definitely a really great opportunity, and it's really great energy this week to really finish something up, tie something up. And honestly, it feels like something that you've been putting off, procrastinating, or it just feels like it might be like finishing touches on something, something along those lines. But definitely, like, let's close things out. Spirit is asking us, okay? Issue. What do we have issues with? Yeah, so issues, challenge, change altogether here. Guys, I might do an impromptu and I read individually, but I wonder if I just pull everything to do a little bit more. No, let's keep it individual. I might do that. Let me know down below, guys, if you want me to, you think it's better to pull the cards all at once and then start reading, or, because I can do either, pull each one by one. So I'd love to hear feedback. Okay, so issue, we have sage, be devoted and committed. Okay, so that makes sense. So being next to each other. I just mentioned procrastination, okay? So the projects that we're procrastinating on that we can't get done, the things that we can't get done. There's an issue of devotion, of commitment, of committing to it. So very interesting that they're both next to each other, because even though Spirit is asking us that we really need to do this, we really need to finish things up, we're going to have an issue being committed to it, okay? And so that's okay. You know, nobody's shaming you or anything like that. You know, Spirit's not coming through to shame us, but you might still have that issue. So it's really about pushing through. Okay. So it's really, really good energy, again, to finish things up, but you still might be having some commitment issues. Let's see what the challenge is. You can do it. Yeah. Okay. So you see how these are connected. This is basically Archangel Michael coming through and saying, yeah, you can do it. You can move through it. Okay. But there's going to be a challenge here. So whatever this thing is, it's becoming pretty, it's kind of like dominating the reading already. So I'm happy to kind of hear that, because it doesn't, maybe it's not such a shadow work week. Wow, guys. I have issues. Don't judge. Okay. But yeah, it just feels like 3 cards in a row about whatever this particular thing is, about moving past it, moving through it, getting it done. You can do it. You can do it makes me think it's really hard. Okay. So maybe it's not just because you're procrastinating. Well, maybe you're procrastinating because it's hard, but it seems like it's something that, is really difficult. But obviously you can do it, right? Pretty simple. Love those Ascended Masters cards, right? What do we need to change? What needs to change? Messiah upside down, exaggerated belief that you're the only one through which a cause can succeed. Interesting. So this is about, there's a couple of cards in this archetype deck about saving people, being the Messiah, being somebody that, what does the light say? It says serving humanity with humility, right? When it's in the light, but it came in the shadow. So this is about like thinking like you're the only one that can get something done. You're the only one that can do this. And so this is telling a little bit of a story of like, maybe you're not getting what needs to be done because you're doing other things that you don't trust other people to do or complete. And you feel like you're the only one that can do it. Like you're taking on so much and you think that, you're the only person that can do it. Like that kind of feeling, that's going to change. Okay. And it's because you're not making, like, it feels like we're not making our priorities our priorities. Like we have other priorities. We can't be cleaning up other people's messes. We can't, like this mindset that we have that we're the only ones that can get something done. We're not delegating the tasks correctly. We're not trusting other people to get it done, like that kind of thing. An example that comes to mind is maybe you do have something around the house that does need to get done. Maybe you are painting a nursery, but you don't trust your partner to, keep the rest of the house together. Something along those lines. That's just a quick example I can think of. So something needs to change because you need to get done what you need to get done, what your priorities are, whatever that unfinished thing is. Like you need to shift priorities and stop thinking that you're the only one that can get something done. I think I explained that okay, but yeah, it's like a complex almost. Okay, focus. We have exchanging gifts. Okay, so this is about give and take. It's not necessarily about actual tangible gifts. Maybe some of you guys will be about actually giving to others, but this is really about more of like a, balancing on how much you give and how much you take. This could be about what I just said about maybe taking on too much and you need to really balance things out. in your life in that way. And so that's really something that you guys need to focus on. What do we have in Reflect? Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Okay, so we have some self-love stuff coming up this week for sure. What do we need to reflect on? How what's a good way to say it? Relate to love. It's not necessarily about who loves us. How do we put love out into the world? How you want other people to treat you, that kind of thing. So this coming up, I'm very interested now to see what comes up in the friends and the romantic section down here in this left-hand corner. But there's something here about how you want to be loved and how other people love you, but also how you love yourself. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff coming up here. There's a lot to reflect on here. So maybe you guys breeze past the reflect section sometimes, but this card here, but I'm definitely getting a feeling and spirit, really honing it in, saying, no, you really actually have to sit down and think about this stuff, and you really need to reflect on it, okay? It's something tells me it's going to be important for you in the next couple of months, okay? And we're going into a new month, okay? So I'm very excited. I haven't, during this recording, as I'm speaking now, I haven't done the monthly yet. Not only has it not been posted, I haven't done it. So very interested to see if this is any foreshadowing for any of that, but it feels pretty big. So that's why I'm kind of harping on it, okay? Okay, and responsibilities. We have drink more water. We've had this before, so this is not necessarily about actually drinking more water, even though it could be quite literal. So water is super healing. Obviously, it's one of the elements. So any way that you can be around water, any way that you can connect with water, that's going to be your responsibility for the week. It will help you. I wonder what's going on with the moon cycles. I wonder if it's in a water sign. Any of my astrology peeps, put it down below. Would love to hear that. Since I have had some health issues, I haven't been on top of the moon cycles, but it just feels like we need to be nourished more. And obviously, even if it's not water, nourishing ourselves more with nutrients or, basics that we need, because water is basics, guys. You can live without food, but you can't live without water, okay? So this is kind of about like, hey, going back to basics, okay? Okay, so money and finances, and you guys know I put career in this category as well. What do we got going on? Networker. Okay, enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Awesome. Okay, so pretty straightforward, actually. Any networking that you can do, meeting people that mentors or people that have what you really want professionally, being around in that space with these people is going to be beneficial for you. So network with as much people as you can. I can hear all the hearts breaking of all the introverts out there. It's okay. Being social is going to be good for our money and our finances and our career this week. So try to get out of the house as much as you can. Don't, if you usually, decline or bypass any networking events, Spirit is saying not this week. Try to get yourself out of your comfort zone and attend. Could also be online too, guys. I'm pretty sure they still have networking things online. But also too, just like, because being social is kind of coming up here just in general, you never know what opportunities are on the corner by meeting somebody new. Like you can go to a party, for example, and meet somebody that is looking for, a new role in their company, and you happen to have all the skills that this person is looking for, and you by chance meet at this party. Okay, that's the best attempt at an example for me. But you guys know what I mean. Like, it's not necessarily just networking events. It's getting yourself out there. That's what Spirit is asking us to do. So it's definitely beneficial and, for advancement and monetary reasons. Okay. Professional advancement. Surprise. Okay. What do we have? By the book. Okay. So This is interesting. I'm getting a couple of things from this right off the bat. Is it definitely does feel like we're gonna surprise ourselves because by the book is always about being like structured or more analytical or more logical and doing things by the rules. Like, so it's kind of about rules. And so it's talking about following the rules when you don't usually follow the rules. And it's not in a negative, it's like a little neutral for me, meaning like, yes, some rules are meant to be broken. I know that's such a cliche thing. You guys are probably used to my cliches, but there are, just because something is a rule doesn't mean it's fair or just or anything along those lines. But again, I would see that as like, if you were to break a rule that was very unfair or, marginalizes people, for example, then I could see that as a positive. But the fact that it's coming under neutral, it's like, it's not good, you're not doing it for good reasons necessarily. You guys know I hate using good or bad, but it's like really hard to kind of encompass all of the energy that I'm feeling here. Maybe like, okay, positive. Yeah, I try to switch it out. It's not necessarily for a positive reason, and it's not necessarily for like a negative reason. Obviously, a negative reason to break a rule is, for example, a law is a rule. You don't want to break the law, right? But sometimes, just because things are laws, just throwing that out there doesn't mean that they're fair or just. So anyway, but it will surprise you. So what I'm saying is like it's neutral. But I think the surprise element here is, the surprise factor is you can't believe that you're not doing it by the book. So this is actually going out to some of my type A people out there who really, my non-type A personality people out there, is that if you feel like you're super easygoing, or not into, doing things extremely by the book, I think it's going to surprise you. And again, neutral to me just means like it's just personal growth, and it's just getting out of your comfort zone, like that kind of thing, which is going to be helpful for what you want to accomplish, what we were reading up here. So there's some, a few other things that are going on here that's going to get you out of your comfort zone, which is great. The networker is another example, right? So yeah, I hope that makes sense for you guys. Friends, let's take a look. Guardian angel, you're not alone. Okay, so yes, it does feel like a social week. It feels like it's definitely more social for the advancement of our professional career, money, and finances. But I definitely do feel like not super social with friends, but the fact that it says that you are not alone is great. Obviously, it says guardian angel, so clearly you guys know angels, ancestors, your guides are with you at all times. I hope you know that. That's just a little friendly reminder. I know you do. So even connecting there is great. Last week, we didn't really get a lot of like, connecting to our higher power, which there's a few cards in here that talk about that. And so this, I could say kind of is in that category. So don't forget about your spirit team is what I'm trying to say, this week, but not for companionship, because to me, companionship feels like, actually physically being with somebody. That's how I'm interpreting it. So, I mean, they are always with you, but sometimes we need humans. You know what I'm saying? So yes, this is also the double meaning here, is like you're not alone. So reach out to a friend for sure. There might be friends reaching out to you. And so it feels more one-on-one. That's why I'm saying like the more social aspect of the week feels more like it's pertaining to your professional life, your career, your purpose, all that stuff. But it feels more one-on-one with reaching out. If you're feeling lonely or you haven't spoken to somebody in a long time, and again, the reverse is also true. Where somebody can like reach out to you. Don't forget this card up here. I find it interesting. It's right below. Exchanging gifts, meaning like it's an even give and take. So this is basically saying, make time for that friend that reaches out to you that has always been there for you, and you, I don't want to say owe them, but or a tit for tat situation, but it's like they're always giving to you. It's time for you to give to them. So lend that, that ear, that listening ear, your empathy, your time, your energy, all of that stuff. Okay. So don't forget it, because it does feel like, I'm not going to lie, guys, it feels like a busy week, especially with all that networking. It just exhausts me thinking about it. But that's because I'm an introvert, but it definitely does feel like you guys got a busy week, have a busy week going on. Romantic connection, balance, career, and home life. We've had this before. I think it was last week. I just finished talking about balance up here in the focus section. Obviously, the universe is based in, yes, it's based in love, but it's also based in balance. Okay, that's why karma is a thing, right? That's why it's a law, because it's always trying to balance itself out, right? And we're always trying to balance itself out, the masculine energy, the feminine energy, that, we always need that balance. Anyway, balancing career and home. So this one's a little bit more grounded, but there's something here where our romantic connections are affected by our career. So it definitely does feel like examining those issues. If we're coupled up, if we're partnered, how is our work affecting our relationships? How could we find more balance there? That kind of thing. And then the opposite, if we're working too much, but we're not making time for our friends, for example, or romantic connections in any type of way. All of my single people, this goes for you too, because this actually is a little bit more reflective, which, oh yeah, remember this heart guardian here. This is about how we want to love in the world. And obviously this is reflection here, because this is saying, like, how do I want to, how do I say this? How do I want to, maybe you've been working a lot and you're saying, how do I want to love my partner? How do I want my partner to love me? Because also the opposite here is true, is that maybe it's your partner that's working too much, or somebody that you're dating or whatever is too heavily focused on work. Like the priorities are kind of in a weird place, but and you're not being loved the way that you want to be loved, or you're not loving somebody the way that you want. It's really about examining that. And like I said, guys, I'm harping on it because it feels really big. So it really is figuring out how, you could be single and figuring out how, and you have a demanding job, how a romantic partnership can fit into that. Okay, I think you guys understand that. So let's move on. Health and wellness. We have God. Oh, look at this wonderful archetype, the ultimate archetype. Okay, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Okay, being a god or goddess, same thing, masculine, feminine. I think there is a goddess card in here somewhere, but this is about owning your power. This is a power card. You guys know I love it under the health and wellness section here. So this is about owning your own power. This could be about advocating for your own needs, whether that's physical, emotional, mental needs, spiritual needs too, as far as it's pertaining to health and wellness. So I see it's a very powerful week. So, shout out to all my chronic illness warriors out there, which is obviously I'm very sensitive to that these days. So love you guys. It's going to be a great week. I should also put a disclaimer. I am not a doctor, just throwing that out there, but it definitely does feel like, definitely feels like it's just a powerful week in general. And so, especially for you, everybody out there too, it does not escape me. Mental health is an issue in this country and beyond, in this world. So it feels like a good week for that as well. Okay. All right. What's important? Oh God, sorry guys for the beep. That is my sauna. I totally forgot it was on. Sorry guys. Okay, so what's important? Building blocks. Okay, so building blocks. So this means building towards something. So guys, this is a great week for career. I have to just say it. Like this feels big, but also too how to balance our relationships with career, but still career is involved in that, if you understand what I'm saying. So something tells me Maybe it's not a home project up here. Again, everybody's going to be different. I'm reading for the collective. That's a large amount of people. So there's a lot of different energies kind of going on, and everybody's, is an individual in their own right. But again, usually when we're going through one thing, other people are. This could be finishing something up, could be work-wise, okay? Could be career-wise. Maybe it's been a really long time you've been working on this novel, and, you finally get, I don't want to say the motivation, because I think the motivation is going to be hard, but you finally kind of get the, maybe I'll say, inspiration to move forward and move through it. So that's really amazing. So it's important, it's building blocks. And so to me, career is coming through with this really, yes, you can build blocks in a relationship, you can build a relationship, but relationship isn't coming through intuitively for me here. It definitely does feel like, especially because it's under money and finances as well, and that's how I read next to each other. I think you guys noticed that. It feels like we're building something, and something that's important to us, and something that feels aligned for us, something that feels purposeful, something that feels, you're passionate about. And so that's really amazing. And it being under important is like, it's important, it's a good thing to have as a priority this week. And it's important to remember the stuff up here about moving through it, okay? And delegating work and that kind of thing. So, moving through, what I meant to say is like moving through the procrastination, the doubts, could be fear too, maybe you're not finishing your novel because you're afraid of what people were going to say or do, or, judge you, and all that stuff that happens, right? Completely normal stuff. But again, I definitely do feel like the inspiration is there to kind of push you through, get you out of your comfort zone in a few different ways this week. Okay. So, what do we got going on? Overall outcome, we have Animal Guardian, trust your instincts. Oh my God, my cards are bending. I use this deck so much. I love this deck so much though. Okay, trust your instincts. So this is about trusting your intuition, trusting that everything is going to work itself out. What a great card to end with. I will say that first card got me a little scared. It felt like maybe it was going to be a heavier week where we're doing kind of shadow work, but it's almost like Spirit is like checking us in the beginning of the week, saying, hey, let's take accountability and let's get stuff done, right? And so it definitely does feel like that. So that's great. So it doesn't feel like a heavy week. It actually feels like a pretty great week. Even with this friend, I would say these two really kind of come with the more heavier energy, right? We have a power card right here. I would say this is definitely, maybe not necessarily a power card, but I definitely feel empowerment behind it. It feels really good. Like so I was saying, sorry, I was jumping around with this friend. This one feels heavy just because it might be something not so great that our friend is going through, or maybe that you might be going through. But it's so minor because the rest of the spread is so positive, and it just feels like, again, that maybe hit of inspiration to kind of get something done. To really reflect on what we truly want. There's some balance in here, taking care of ourselves, meeting new people, to advance our career, etc., etc. So that's my summation of it. Hopefully this resonates with you guys, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty great week. I'm super excited. So again, guys, down below, let me know if it resonates with you. Also, don't be afraid to come back here to let me know how things transpired or manifested for you. I always love to connect the dots, see how it connects and makes sense. Because sometimes I say things, and even like for myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I said in the reading. That's what was kind of like what I was picking up on, kind of deal. So, all right, guys, I've talked enough. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys for the monthly. And of course, I'll see you next week.